Hello students, we will continue with topic 7.5 AC voltage applied to a capacitor. In the last lecture, the voltage or we can say a instantaneous voltage was equal to Vm sin omega t and the instantaneous current was omega t plus pi by 2, and we concluded our lecture that a current leads the voltage by pi by 2, and you can write this equation as cos of omega t also. Now today we are going to plot the graph, that is the waveform of V and I with respect to omega t, as well as a phasor diagram. So clearly in a capacitive circuit, the current leads the voltage by pi by 2 radian or 1/4 of the periodic time. So the waveform for V and I versus omega t, clearly V is the function of a sine. So we first draw a sine graph. So this is a graph of V, instantaneous voltage, and I is a function of cosine, that is when the sine is minimum, the cosine is maximum, then maximum, minimum, minimum, we have a maximum here, so this will be the graph or waveform for a I, instantaneous current. So one is maximum and other is minimum. This was pi and this is the 2 pi. Now from this we can draw a phasor diagram, and the diagram should be such that the current should lead the voltage. Now how to draw the phasor diagram at any instant? So let us take this instant and let this instant be named as omega t1. Then we take a horizontal line connecting to a V waveform, and we take a horizontal line connected to a current waveform. Clearly the current should lead, and there is a phase difference of 90. So if I join this with a V, so we write it a bold V, that is a phasor V, then the current should lead by 90 degree. It means the current should be exactly at the 90 degree. So this should exactly look like a 90 degree, and this is the phasor of a current. So in this case, when this phasor rotates anti-clockwise at any instant, the current will be always leading the voltage by 90 degree, and this angle is omega t1. So if we have to write the vertical component, this component becomes Vm sin omega t, and our this component will become, vertical component will become Im cos omega t, because this angle will be 90 minus omega t. So this is the phasor diagram which clearly indicate that I is leading the voltage by 90 degree, and as the phasor rotates counterclockwise direction, or you can say an anti-clockwise direction, it generates a waveform of sine and cosine. At any instant, there will always be a phase difference of pi by 2 where the current will be leading the voltage. Now let us find out the power, average power in this circuit. So average power in capacitive circuit, the steps are similar to the inductive circuit, where first we will write the instantaneous power. So the instantaneous power, small p, is equal to small v into small I. Therefore P is equal to VI, that is the product of this. So we can write Vm Im sine of omega t cos of omega t. Therefore P can be written as Vm Im divided by 2 sine omega t cos of omega t. So this is similar to the inductive circuit. So this comes out to be sine of 2 omega t. Now we have to find out the average power. So average power, which is also denoted by capital P, will be equal to the average of Vm Im divided by 2 sine of 2 omega t, that is the average symbol. So capital P for this circuit, Vm Im, they are the peak value and their value remains fixed. So we have to take the average of sine 2 omega t for one complete cycle. Now if we integrate this from 1 to t, that is, we know how to find out the average. The average will be 1 by t 0 to t sine of 2 omega t dt. Now if you solve this or you integrate this, it comes out to be 0. So therefore directly we write the average power is 0 because the average of sine 2 omega t is 0. So the power consumed by the capacitive circuit is 0, or we can say that a power given by the source to the capacitor for one complete cycle comes out to be 0, similar to a inductor. Now power consumed in capacitor 0 means whatever energy is absorbed during any half cycle, the same amount of energy is given back to the source in the coming cycle. So we will see the pictorial representation how the average power comes out to be 0. In the inductor, it was magnetization and demagnetization of an inductor, and in the capacitor, it is the charging and the discharging of the capacitor. So let us see the pictorial representation to understand how the average power in such circuit comes out to be 0. Now let us see how the power or average power comes out to be 0. Now clearly the V is a function of sine, so the Q is also a function of sine, and I is equal to dq by dt. So it comes out to be a function of cosine. So first we draw the graph of this physical quantities with respect to omega t. So first V is a function of sine. So we draw this V as a function of sine, and we give a region. So this is 0 to 1 region, for which we will have this corresponding diagram. Then we have the region number 1 to 2, then the region 2 to 3, and the last is the fourth cycle. So this is one complete cycle. This is your pi, and this is your 2 pi. This is omega t. Now Q is also a function of the sine. Q is also a function of sine. So we draw a Q similar to the V. This is our V. Q we show by a dotted line. So this is Q. That is, as the time increases, the capacitor is charged. So if we talk about the region 0 to 1, as the time increases or the frequency omega, as the time t increases, then the charge also increases in this region. So the capacitor is charged. Now let us see the current. Current is leading. So when we have this charge to be 0, the current is maximum. Then we have maximum, minimum. We have maximum, then maximum, we have minimum. So this will be the cosine graph. Now this becomes minimum, so it becomes maximum. So this is I graph. So this is the pictorial representation of V, I and Q. Now at any instant, let us say the current is flowing in the direction as shown, or it flow in a direction from A to B. Or you can say from the graph you can see that in a region from 0 to A, the charge is increasing. So A acquire a plus polarity and B acquire a minus or negative polarity. That is, the electric field is being established, and in this region A is positively charged, B is negatively charged. That is, capacitor is charged in this interval because the Q is a function of psi. Now as the charge start depositing on the capacitor, the current start decreasing due to capacitive reactance. So this is the portion where the capacitor is being charged and the current is decreasing. So current decreases from the value maximum, that is 1 to 0. Now let us see the product. V is positive and I is also positive in this portion 0 to 1. So V is positive, I is also positive, though its value is decreasing. Therefore, P instantaneous power is also positive, and it means the power is absorbed from the source, or you can say the energy is absorbed from the source. So this is the region where the capacitor is being charged. At this point, the capacitor is fully charged, the charge accumulation is maximum, and as the charge increases, it opposes the current, that is the capacitive reactance. We know the capacitive reactance was equal to 1 upon omega C. So the current start decreasing, and at this region 1, exactly at this time, the current becomes 0 and the charge becomes maximum, the voltage is maximum. So the capacitor will absorb, or you can say the capacitor start storing the energy. Now the capacitor is fully charged. Now after this region 1, see the charge is decreasing. The charge is decreasing. So here if you count the number of charges, it becomes less. So the direction of the current is now reversed. So first it was shown from A to B, now it is from B to A, because the current is now decreasing, the charge is decreasing and the current is increasing in this portion, but the direction of the current is reverse. So you see the graph simultaneously 1 to 2, the charge is decreasing. So here we have shown the less charge, and the current is again increasing but in the opposite direction. So whatever energy it has absorbed from the source, or you can say now in a region the capacitor is getting discharged. The capacitor is been getting discharged. So whatever amount of charge it acquired from the source, you can say it is giving back to it, and so the direction of the current is reversed and the current increase in the opposite direction. Now let us see the direction, polarity. Now V, so V is decreasing but it is positive. But you see I is negative, so P is negative. And when P is negative, the energy is returned back to the source. So in the first half, it absorbs energy from the source. In the second quarter, so this is 1/4, that is T by 4, T by 4. So 1/4 time period it charge and then it gets discharged. So charging, discharging. Now come to this region 2 to 3. Again, the charge start increasing. You see the graph, the charge is increasing, it start increasing, but the direction of the polarity or the direction of V is changed now. So from 2 to 3, again the capacitor will get charge, but its polarity will start changing. So earlier it was B which was negative potential, now the B will be at the positive potential and A will be at negative potential. So the direction of current is again reversed in this case, and now V, see region 2 to 3. So here V is negative now. V is negative, and see the graph of I. I is also negative. I is negative. So power in this region P is positive, and therefore the capacitor is charged, but its polarity is reversed. So again energy is absorbed from source. So it is like the current in this becomes from 1 to 0, then 0 to minus 1, say 0 to minus 1, then minus 1 to 0, minus 1 to 0, and now once one cycle will be completed, it becomes 0 to maximum again. So again the charge has increased. Now if you see in this, V is, so for 3 to 4, V is negative, V is negative, I is positive, so P is negative, that is the product. So capacitor is discharged again and energy is returned back to source. So for one complete cycle, the power comes out to be 0. So either you understand this polarity of the plates with the help of graph, that for the first quarter the capacitor is charged, for the second quarter the capacitor is discharged, third quarter again the capacitor is charged but its polarity is reversed, and in the last quarter the capacitor is discharged. So absorption, or you can say it take a energy from the source, it give back the energy to the source, then again it take a energy from the source, but its polarity is reversed, again it give back the energy. So if it is an ideal capacitor, the energy absorbed or used by the capacitor is zero, and therefore the capacitor is used to store an electrical energy. Now let us see example number 2. Now these examples are the direct applications of the formula. A pure inductor of 25 millihenry, so L is equal to 25 millihenry, so milli can be written as 10 raised to minus 3, and is connected to a source of 220 volt. So the V is 220 volt, and we should remember this V is actually Vrms. Find the inductive reactance, that is XL, and the RMS current in the circuit, that is capital I, if the frequency of the source is 50 Hz. So you can use the symbol small f or nu for the frequency. So first you have to find out inductive reactance, that is equal to direct formula omega L. Omega L can be written, omega can be written as 2 pi f or nu. So 2 pi nu L. So this can be written as 2 pi into the frequency is 50 Hz and L is 25 into 10 raised to minus 3 volt. So you do this calculation and find out the answer. Now you have to find out IRMS. So IRMS is equal to the Ohm's law only. So I is equal to V upon XL. V is equal to 220 volt, and whatever answer you get at this, you substitute this value here and find the answer. The current flowing in the circuit should be this much ampere. So this is the direct application of the inductive circuit. Now let us come to example number 3. A lamp is connected in series with a capacitor. So we have a lamp which is connected in series with a capacitor. Predict your observation for DC and AC connection. So there are two cases in this example. We have a lamp. So let us consider this lamp which is connected to a capacitor. Now in one case we have a DC source. Let the bulb have a resistance R. So what will happen in this case? Now once the capacitor is charged, we know capacitor block the DC current. So once the capacitor is charged, the current in the circuit becomes 0, and therefore the lamp will not glow. So once capacitor is charged, once the capacitor is charged, current becomes 0. So lamp will not glow. Lamp will not glow in this situation. Also, we know capacitor block DC. So once the capacitor is fully charged, the lamp will not glow. Then we have a second part. What happen in each case if the capacitance of the capacitor is reduced? So here if you change the capacitance, changing or reducing the capacitor, reducing the capacitance of capacitor does not make any difference, because the bulb will not glow whether the capacitor value is C or C by 2. It will block a DC. So in the case of DC, the lamp will not glow. Now let us see the situation when this lamp is connected to a capacitor and we have a supply of AC. Now in AC supply, we know that the current is leading. So in this situation, the bulb will glow or it will shine as the current as it is connected with AC. So when the circuit is switched on, the lamp will shine. The lamp will shine, or we can say the lamp will glow. Now what will happen if the capacity, what will happen if the capacitance of the capacitor is reduced? So in this circuit, the capacitive reactance is Xc is equal to 1 by omega C in this situation. Now when capacitance is reduced to half. So here the capacitance is reduced to half. So if we reduce the capacitance to half, the capacitive reactance will increase. So reducing C will increase the reactance and the lamp will glow, dim, or the shyness of the bulb will decrease. So when the capacitance is reduced to half, Xc is doubled. Now what is Xc? Xc is the resistance offered by a capacitor to the flow of AC current. So the brightness of lamp decreases. So as soon as you connect this lamp with the capacitor, initially the bulb will shine, and then reducing the C will decrease its brightness or it will decrease its shine. Now example number 4. So example 7.4. A 15 microfarad capacitor, so capacitance is 15 microfarad, is connected to 220 volt supply, that is VRMS. The frequency is 50 Hertz. Find the capacitive reactance, so Xc, and the current, that is RMS as well as peak. So I, we have to find out three quantities, Xc, I, and I of N. What happened to the capacitance, reactance and the current if the frequency is doubled? So in second case, if nu is doubled, again we have to find out this, all the three quantities. So first case, Xc is equal to 1 upon omega C. So this is equal to 1 upon 2 pi nu C. You substitute this value and find out the capacitive reactance. Then IRMS. So IRMS is equal to V upon Xc. So 220 volt divided by whatever value you get this, here it will become dash ampere. Then you have to find out peak value. So we know that peak value will be root 2 times the IRMS value. So this will be equal to root 2 times into whatever value you get at this point to substitute. In the second case, the frequency is doubled. So if V is doubled, the reactance or capacitive reactance will become half, and if it becomes half, I and Im will be doubled. So you can find out either a new value x dash s xc dash I dash or Im dash. Otherwise we can write, if frequency is doubled, then Xc reduces to half and the current and peak current becomes double, because the resistance of the capacitor is reduced to half. So the current in the circuit, whether it is IRMS or it is the peak, its value will be doubled. So this is example number 4, which is related to a capacitive circuit. So in the coming lecture we will do LCR circuit with the help of a phasor diagram, where we have studied individually the resistance, inductor and capacitor. In a resistive circuit, the voltage and current was in the same phase. In inductor, current was lagging behind the voltage by pi by 2, and in the capacitive circuit the current was leading. Now what happened when all these three components are connected in series with an AC source, and how to find out the resultant potential of the circuit, that can be found with the help of a phasor diagram. So we will continue our lecture with LCR circuit and the remaining examples. Have a nice day.